Hey, this is Hammer with a 2,400 point lead game against Warriors of Chaos with the meeting engagement scenario. So, on my deployment, I've got a unit of Peg Knights, my Fast Cav, my BSB with a 80 point Paladin, and a big unit of Knights of the Realm there. My level 4's unit is next to them. They're Knights Errant, they have the Errantry banner. And the Grail Knights at the top are actually Knights of the Realm with my Heroic Killing Blow General. At the bottom right, got my 2 Trebs, a unit of 10 Bowmen, and the units that didn't come on the board were a unit of 12 Bowmen with Musician and Flaming attacks, and a unit of 12 Knights of the Realm with full command. So on my opponent's deployment, he's got a unit of dogs on the left, a hero level combat character on a disc, big unit of 18 Tzeentch warriors. Behind them is a war shrine, and then he's got a unit of Nurgle Chaos warriors with his BSB. Behind the Nurgle warriors is another war shrine being proxied by that Shaggoth. And then he's got a big unit of Chosen with his level 4. So clearly a Chosen Death Star list. He's going to try to buff those guys up as much as possible with his war shrines and yeah, make that unit really scary. The only unit that didn't come on for him was a unit of dogs. So on Chaos turn 1, he charges his dogs into my Peg Knights, which surprised me. In the center, he moved all his big blocks backwards, which also surprised me. I think his intent here was to get as much time as possible to buff up those Chaos blocks and make them really nasty. But I was okay with it because I have my 2 Trebs in the back, and I got the Comet, so I have them outranged. So in a way, it's actually good for me. So down here, he also flies his hero level Disc Rider behind my lines. And after close combat, yeah, my Peg Knights completely dominate the dogs, as expected. On Bret turn 1, my reinforcements come on, as you can see. My intent is to shoot down that hero, but it didn't matter because he had 3-up ward save. Move up my battle line in the center, as you can see. On the left, move my Peg Knights up on the hill. That one's not actually dead, you just can't stand on that hill. And this is actually a picture from Bret turn 2. So, during Chaos turn 2, nothing really significant happened. He kind of stayed in place, moved his War Shrine to face my Peg Knights, as you can see. And on my turn, I had moved those Peg Knights back a little bit. In his magic, he tried to cast Infernal Gateway on my BSB's unit, but I dispelled it irresistibly. So, also on his previous turn, he had tried to charge my Trebuchet with his Disc Hero, but failed. So this is, again, on my turn 2, I decided to bring my level 4's unit and General's unit back. I swift reformed them and moved them. So if he charges my Treb, I'll definitely be able to countercharge and pick up those points and kill that guy. But also I did this because I really didn't like the position I was in. I really want to bring my Knights together and realign so I can set up some double charges instead of sending units into his Chosen where they're definitely going to get crushed. So here's another view of that, and another view of that, I guess, showing his battle lines. So Chaos turn 3, his Disc Hero gets in with my Treb. In the center, he moves back even more. Given how nasty Warriors of Chaos are in combat, it's just real surprising to see him backing up like this. It's to the point now where one lucky Treb shot or a good comet and a failed panic test by those chosen and they're off the board. So yeah, just surprising overall. Also this turn he threw 6 dice again at Infernal Gateway, and once again I dispelled it irresistibly. So Brett turn 3, I charged my Peg Knights into his War Shrine on the left side of the board here. I don't know what my odds are on this, probably not great. Just hoping to get lucky through combat res, because that 3-up ward save is just ridiculous. So also charged my level 4's unit of Knights Errant into the flank of the hero. And I should mention here that the hero failed to kill all the crew members of the Treb, which held, surprisingly. So that set up this really easy charge, and he's screwed. My magic phase, I got the comet off, as you can see. If this doesn't get his lines moving, I don't know what will. In shooting, my top Treb blows itself up, so yeah, I just lost my shooting advantage. Close combat here. His disc hero directed all his attacks against the last wound on my bottom Treb and got it. And with all my attacks charging that guy, I still couldn't kill him with that dang 3-up ward save. So beat him through combat res. He broke, fled off the board, but I failed my roll to restrain. So I was just going to reform, no problem, he'll run off the board, but now I just lost my level 4 for a round of magic on his turn, which is not good. So over here is, his War Shrine beat my pegs, killed one in fact, and I broke but got away, so War Shrine a little bit too tough for the pegs. So on Chaos turn 4, he charges his War Shrine against my fleeing pegs, so they flee again, but he doesn't catch them. And the center moves his battle line away from the comet, which doesn't go off. And in his magic phase, he throws 6 dice at Infernal Gateway again, but for the 3rd time in a row, I dispel it irresistibly, which I was very pleased with, because I hate that spell. So here's my only picture of Brett turn 4, but on the far left side of the board, my pegs, being chased by the War Shrine, rallied and flew over its head, right behind it. Got my level 4's unit back on the board. I finally got my fast cab over there, next to my general's unit, in a decent position to hopefully eventually redirect the chosen. The reason it took so long is because they were deployed on the bottom left side of the board. I had to deploy my whole army first without knowing where his stuff was going to go. Normally that gives you the first turn, but being Bretonians, I didn't get that advantage. Also, my comet, in the back of the board had been failing to go off for a lot of turns, and I wanted to cast another one, but both my opponent and the game store owner argued that I couldn't do it. I said that I could because Comet is not a remains in place spell, so yeah, but I wasn't gonna make a big fuss about it, so I just left it alone. But that's why I'm not casting more comets. So on Chaos turn 5, he charges his dogs at the bottom right of the screen into my general's unit, which I really have no idea why. My general's gonna smack the crap out of those guys. It would have been a lot more dangerous if he had just parked him in front of my general and redirected that unit. But yeah, I mean, I was very happy to see him do that. So here's a wider view of that. Moves up his battle line in a nice tight formation between those two buildings. I like my position a lot better here than when I started. My fast cav are ready to do some work. My general's unit is definitely going to get cleared up once they kill those dogs. And I'll be set up clearly for a double charge and a redirect on something else. Wish my prophetess's unit wasn't out of the fight, but still better position than what I had before. So this magic phase, yeah, this comet still doesn't go off. I don't know what it is, strength 8, 9, just not going off. So this time when he throws all his dice at Infernal Gateway, it goes off. I think irresistibly for him this time. But it goes off and he rolls a 10 for whatever he needs to roll. And so all of my knights tank a strength 10 hit, I think is what it was. But yeah, my Knight of the Realm unit just got murdered. At least he didn't roll an 11, then all my characters will be dead too. But basically all I'm left with is my BSB and my 80-point paladin who has a wound on him. So yeah, he finally got it off. After close combat, yeah, of course, my general kicked those dogs to the curb, and he's free to make something happen. But now my big Knight of the Realm unit just got crushed, so not quite as good as the beginning of this turn. So here are the charges I make on Brett turn 5. Despite losing my Knight of the Realm unit, I take my BSB and the Paladin into the Nurgle unit, along with my General. Still get 6 strength, 6 attacks, and the 2 extra combat revs from the BSB, so definitely worth it in my view. Also take my Knight of the Realm unit into the Tzeentch block. Yeah, not feeling too confident about that, because they got buffed up a little bit as well. The only unit that didn't get buffed was the Nurgle block in the center. That's why I chose to charge him, especially since the BSB's in that unit. With my bottom Knight of the Realm unit, all I'm hoping to do is just hold him up for one turn so all my stuff in the center doesn't get countercharged. Also, my magic, that comet in the back there, finally went off and did like 2 wounds to that war shrine, and ended up dropping another one right next to the war shrine. So on the left, I think I just got charged crazy and sent these Peg Knights back against the war shrine. Yeah, probably not a good idea, but I wanted to grab points after losing that Knight of the Realm unit. So here's an overview shot of the battle, and also in my movement phase, I moved a fast cav up to redirect his chosen block, and you can see the comet behind the war shrine there as well. After close combat, yeah, did really well, ripped through that Nurgle block in the center and just picked up a big chunk of points, which was outstanding. When I pursued, my 2 paladins ended up right in the face of the war shrine, which may not be a good thing because they only have 1 wound on them apiece. And also, the new comet that I had casted this turn is right next to both units, so pretty scary there. Close combat over here. Yeah, it's just a pillow fight, really. So with the Knights of the Realm against the Tzeentch block, he killed one knight, and I rubber lanced and didn't do a single wound, but everyone stuck around, so yeah, hopefully they can last one more round of combat. So going straight to Chaos turn 6, combat. Nothing happened with magic, because when he blew up my Knight of the Realm unit earlier in the game, he had lost D3 magic levels. But yeah, my pegs over here beat the War Shrine in combat, which I was thrilled with. In the center, my two paladins that were going against the other War Shrine beat it in combat and ran it down as well. I think I might have done a couple wounds, but the pure combat res my paladin brought to the battle really allowed them to win that fight. And here in the center, yeah, my Knight of the Realm unit just couldn't stick in with those Chaos Warriors, and they got beaten in combat and rolled abysmally for their flee distance. So yeah, he got that unit, and his chosen block charged my fast cav, who actually got away, which was great. And so this is what I'm looking at the beginning of Brett turn 6, and yeah, there's nothing I want to charge. I have no shooting. Nothing in magic I have can kill any more of these units on the board, so this is where the game ends. So I ended up taking the victory on this one by about 300 points. Yeah, usually I'm not a fan of these random deployment scenarios. I really don't like anything other than battle line. In fact, it's the most balanced and it seems the most strategic. But regardless, this game ended up being pretty interesting. You know, at one point, both our armies were moving away from each other, which I'd never seen before. I'm not sure how the double War Shrine chosen lists are normally played, but I found his strategy was pretty unusual. So yeah, he's the only Warriors of Chaos player in my area that I know of. So yeah, I'm not sure how people would do things differently, but anyways, good game, and the next one is going to be against the dreaded Ogre Kingdoms. Thanks for watching.